Did you see what happened there? That's legal. That actually happened.
These are a bunch of knife reviews that were not paid for or sponsored by any company, so you know they're real.
I'm doing a series on knife reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos, maybe 10 if I did an introduction. I really don't remember, it was so long ago. What we're looking at is knives I've actually carried. This is the knife I carry now. Been carrying this one actually for a couple of years now. This one's probably been to SHOT Show more times than the people you've seen on YouTube. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. The knife I started carrying when I was a little kid, I'm pretty sure I got in trouble for carrying this knife to school when I was in 6th grade. That tells you how long I've had this knife. This is a Craftsman, not a Buck. And at first when I was a little kid, I was like, I wish I had a Buck. Somebody bought me this instead. Probably because it's cheaper, I don't know why. But there's really technically no difference. I think they're almost identical. I was a butthurt when I was a kid. Years later, I would pay a lot of money to go to NRA show in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Buck would be so rude to me that I wouldn't own a Buck today if he gave it to me. The only Buck I own is this $10 one because it's a $10 decent made in the USA knife, and I'd love it if it wasn't made by Buck. They were so rude to me in 2010. In 2020, I'm still offended by it. But this is a Buck style knife. Maybe they made it. I don't know. It doesn't say anything about Buck on it. You'd have to tell me. I'm not a Buck historian. But back when I was a kid, you didn't have a choice. You bought a Buck or you bought garbage. There was really a lot, no big, this was it. You bought this or you bought a sheath knife or you bought a pen knife. But this was it for a decent big knife. And this was sort of this is like a trucker knife. This is the kind of knife that you didn't need to have this to kill a bear. Like, if you need a knife that big, then what are you trying to prove? This was the kind of knife that as a little kid I wanted because it was obnoxious. It was too big. Truckers carried these knives to have trucker fights or whatever they did. Regular people carried a penknife in their pocket. Things weren't just done the same way as they're done nowadays back then. So anyway, this was my very heavy, let's take a look and mock at how heavy it was, very heavy Buck type knife from Craftsman. 7.4 ounces, and I carried it in this a sheath similar to that's actually a Buck sheath, for another 2 ounces, so for a grand total of 9 ounces of knife. Let's see how many new knives it would take. My current knife is 2 ounces, with the last knife I carried is 4 ounces. The knife I carried behind that was 9 ounces, so if I carried these 3 knives, it would be the same as carrying this one knife. Alright, so why would you carry around a knife like this? First, it came in this, I had an old sheath that's gone now, but this is the similar sheath. It would come in this. It would get all worn out on the one side, so it would fit in there pretty decent, kind of like Kydex does now. But you had to open it two-handed, right? And that was a pain. When you went to close it, it was cool to jam it into something and then push the lock and then close it. And wasn't really tote and chip where they do that, but that's what we did. That was cool. Sometimes people would do this. Oh, it's tough. I don't like doing it. It's a lot tougher than I remember. But when you were a little kid, this is all you could do, is you'd flick it and then you could throw it right away. You didn't throw these things too many times unless you got really good at throwing because you'd break them. But they eventually came out with this. I don't know if I should show kids today, but this is the kind of stuff we dealt with back in the day. You would leave your knife about half open, and you would shove it in here. Do like that. And then you would put it in the rest of the way. And what you'd be left with is the tip of your knife right there. But it had a little piece of faux leather on both sides and some nylon, so you probably didn't get too jammed up. You would then have this thing going through your belt, and you'd have this thing on your belt like this. You could also alternatively have this on something and hang this from like a backpack strap, and that's how I would do it, is have my backpack come up through something like this and attach it to here. So you've got this thing, imagine your backpack strap. This is on my left side of my backpack strap, so it's over here. And, oh, I need my knife for something. Well, I'm going to come over with my hand and I'm going to grab this brass area and I'm going to pull down. Did you see what happened there? That's legal. That actually happened. We would unlock the knife, feed it in between them two things, jam it up back into there, and for the most part that would hold it, especially when you had something through here, like a belt or a backpack strap. When you needed it, you pulled on it and it was open. So basically your knife blade is rubbing against this little rubber washer, and eventually that would wear out. It's not actually a rubber washer, it's just a piece of hose. And the hose has some fiber in it or whatever, so it takes a little while before it cuts out. Whenever it does, you just loosen up this Chicago screw, put another little piece of hose in there. You don't want to make it too thick because then this thing would get too loose. But yeah, you could do it that way, or grab it sort of. Oh, that was the dangerous part, because it would whip the tip of the knife around. So let's try that again without jamming it into my wrist. So another way would be to grab it this way, and if I actually pulled it off, it would open into my hand. So you could set it up to open this way, just be in your hand, or, and remember, you could put it away one-handed also. The other way would be to have it in this way and have it in your hand to work on. So that was the 2 ways of carrying your buck knife. There might have been more, but that's the way I carried them. And that's the end of our series of knives. So this has never been done before, and I'm not sure it's legal. I'm going to go ahead and open each one. Some of them are automatic, like these two. Some of them might as well be automatic, like this one. It just opens so quickly. Some of them are grody, because I used them for so long. Some of them, like this, don't even have a lock, because they're made for Europe, where locks are illegal. Actually, that knife's probably illegal now there, too. This one is also grody from carrying it around. This one is semi-automatic by being a butterfly knife, and this one is made by Buck. That's the series on knives. Let us know what you think. If you've got a series of knives, then you should link to it or do something. Till next time, thanks to our Patreons for recommending the series. Thank you for watching. Did you see what happened there? That's legal. That actually happened.
Guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.